2012 mid-career class. That first day we arrived here at the Kennedy School, it was clear. We were entering into something very special. Great accomplishments and pedigrees, packed into tight little bios with smiling faces, just waiting to outperform you and in life. But there was something about it that seemed a little too sanitized, just a bit too perfect. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's incredible that you and your social enterprise co-founder hiked the Himalayas to bring freshwater technology to an indigenous tribe, carrying a wounded panda on your back, disabling landmines all the way. Ensuring it was a zero-waste trip by eating all of your plastic bags. It's incredible, truly. It's incredible. Now, but while that may be what you did, that isn't who you are. Now, I know what my bio said about me. It's the story that I wanted to tell. It was a true story, but it didn't begin to tell the full story. It didn't tell you that I didn't get accepted to the local college in my town leaving high school. It didn't tell you that any success I've had is due much more to the amazing mentors and partners in the work than anything I could have accomplished left to my own devices. And it certainly didn't tell you that when I first came here, I didn't think I belonged, and it felt a really long way from home. Now, I grew up in northern Minnesota, raised by parents who married very young and began their family in a little house in the middle of the woods, no indoor plumbing, no running water. They called it the happiness house, the happiness house, our They were hippies. Yeah. Now, we never had much, but we always had enough, because we always had community. My dad worked as a counselor and a chaplain at the local children's home. My mom was survivors of domestic violence and child victims of neglect and abuse. And it was that groundwork that laid the frame for my life's work of social justice. Several years ago, I worked in the immigrant rights movement in Minneapolis. Oftentimes, the meetings were very heavy. There was a courtyard outside the community center, a place where we could get a little respite. I'd often go out to get some fresh air, collect my thoughts. Along an entire outside wall was this expansive work of art created through a partnership of artists from both Mexico and Minnesota. It's titled Mosaic of the Americas, Many Strengths, Many Struggles. Mosaics are intricate pieces of art formed through many different pieces that come together to form one image, one work of art. Now, I reflect on all of these broken up little pieces and just be in awe at how much power and meaning lay in that piece of art. And when I look at you today, my classmates, I see something similar in us. Imperfect pieces coming together to create something beautiful. I feel connected in a way that simply wouldn't be possible based only on impressive bios and shared admission letters. Over time, I've also come to view our class as a mosaic. Now, to form a mosaic, an artist must first collect broken pieces. The artist has no use of perfect pieces. Now, it's in this that we too must both recognize and reveal our own brokenness before we can build something of meaning with each other. Now, the great paradox is that it takes connection to become vulnerable, and vulnerability to become connection. But we start somewhere. Someone takes a chance. For me, the vulnerability came as we tested the waters. Could we let our guard down? Can we trust here? Is it possible to begin to show our weakness? And I think that most of us found that in our class, we said yes, we could. Now, my first sense of true connection actually came at a party right here in this room to end the summer program. Mid-careers, you remember this party, right? We were all here, danced our brains out. It was, it was an incredible party. This was the first time, after all that stats, all that quant, kind of got all the toxins out that night and put a few new ones in. Now, the final song came on. Man in the Mirror. We formed a huge circle, 200 of us right here, arm in arm, swaying back and forth, big stupid grins on our face. We're sweating, we're singing our hearts out. It's incredible. In fact, it actually reminded me a little bit of being in church again. Some kind of weird Michael Jackson church. But, Now, for me, that night, a community was born. We began to realize that in this community, people were there for each other. Through our shared experience, we began to recognize our interdependence. Through all the stress, the self-doubt, the grief, uncertainties, the transition, all of these vulnerabilities that each of us experienced this year, our connection continued to grow and deepen with each other. In this mosaic, it is our jagged edges, it is our cracked sides, our splinters, our brokenness, that make it possible to fit together with one another. And it's that connection that serves as the cement to keep all these broken pieces as one. So let us take this mosaic, that is us, and move into the world as one. Separated perhaps by purpose, borders, and oceans, but forever bound by this experience together. And wherever you go, build community. Be the one to take that first step. Take the lessons of this year with you, because this is the beginning, not the end. Thank you.